Welcome back to another episode of the Christian Kirkley Show. Thank you for joining us today, and we are going to be talking about the top 5 most read genres by millionaires and why they're important. So, number 1 is self-help and personal development. So think books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Think and Grow Rich, another Richest Man in Babylon is another one, and then my favorite, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are books that develop you as a person and as a leader. You can only lead somebody that is as good as you are. So, for example, if you are a pigeon trying to lead an eagle, it's not going to go well. If you're a bee trying to lead an A, they're not going to listen to you. They're going to leave, right? But if you're an A, you can lead a team of B's or A's, right? If you want to have an A team, you need to be an A yourself. Well, that's where self-help, personal development, that whole genre comes in. Number 2, business and finance. It's an obvious one. You got to learn about your money. You got to learn about business, how those things work. Another one that I really like in this genre, business and finance, Financial Freedom by Grant Sabater. Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-Davis. Really good stuff. Anything by Warren Buffett. Principles by Ray Dalio is really good. Number 3, Biographies and Memoirs. So this is one that successful people really dive into. And it's one that's really interesting because what you can do with biographies is you can listen and you can match it up to the point where you are today. So for example, if you want to listen to a biography about Bill Gates or LeBron James or someone like that, or maybe let's think of somebody more relatable. Let's say somebody like... So, somebody that's more relatable would be someone like Mark Zuckerberg, right? Yeah, he's a billionaire right now, but he was a normal, smart guy, and he made a really good app. He made a really good idea, right? So, you can go back and you can listen to, and you can pinpoint the part that really took him to that next level, and you can just implement different pieces of that into your life from people from the real estate world, from the stock world, from all over sports, Michael Jordan even. You can take the work ethic piece out of there and you can really just study what they did to get where they are. And like I said, just really apply where you are in your life to where they were at that point in the book and just kind of study and focus in on the steps that they took to get to that next level. History and philosophy. In my opinion, this is the most important personally. I'm open to have my mind changed on it, but it's something that I spend the most time reading and listening to. Majority history, because history repeats itself, and history is really just a study of human nature played out in real life, right? So it's a study of past human nature. So if you go and you look at different times in history, you can kind of apply it to today, and you can almost extrapolate into the future and see where we are going. Based on historical trends. And I mean, look at the Roman Empire. You can compare it to America. Look at different countries, different cultures, how they act, how they interact with each other. Super interesting. It helps you vibe and get along with other people from different cultures if you know their history. Philosophy really helps in interacting with people on a daily basis. Very important. Just really your train of thought, right? Philosophy plays into some religion. Understanding others, showing empathy. History and philosophy are very, very important. If you don't study them, you will be a victim to them, right? So those who don't study history end up being disadvantaged or harmed by things that have happened in the past that they weren't able to look out for. This especially applies to economic history, financial history, someone that puts all their eggs in one basket, or you name it. Events repeat themselves because human nature does not change. People in the days of Jesus are the same as they were now. We just have bigger gadgets and fast cars, right? They didn't have cars back then. You got me. But pretty much the point of history is you just want to know how people act, how they interact with each other, and that way you can position yourself better and pretty much just thrive more in your daily life, right? And number 5, fiction. This one I need to do more of. So fiction, it's almost like a refresher to your brain. It's really good to have a good imagination. It's something I know that some successful people do at the end of the day is they just sit down and they read fiction to wind down at the end of the day. Tim Ferriss, really awesome guy. He wrote The 4 Hour Work Week. He's a prolific entrepreneur, really savvy business guy. He reads fiction before bed and like falls asleep reading fiction, and it kind of like rewards your inner child. I think you should do stuff to reward your inner child, and something that like that, if you like fantasy, Lord of the Rings, if you like sci-fi, Star Wars, different things like that, maybe dive into some new genres. Like I said, it's something that I need to do more of, because it really sparks your imagination, and it's really good to reward yourself, right? On reading as a whole, very important to read. The average millionaire, or I should say actually the average CEO, my apologies, the average CEO reads one book a week. The average American, I believe, reads one book a year, or maybe a little bit less than a book a year. So there's a 50 times difference in that, in the amount of reading that's done by CEOs. So there's a correlation between reading and success. If you don't read, if you don't listen to audiobooks, if you don't learn new things via books, really, you're not going to be successful. It's really that simple. You might get lucky, or you might be your definition of success, which is good. It's okay, but if you want to be wealthy, you're going to need to learn and read. You're going to need to take in new information, and don't just read the same thing. Mix it up. Get an Audible subscription. There's an app called Libby where you can actually you get like trials of books, and I believe they have a free version, Libby, Libby. That's really good. YouTube now has like recorded books for free. A lot of these older books, like Tax-Free Wealth, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon, all these books on YouTube are just like recorded on there. Think and Grow Rich. You can go and you can actually just look it up and you can listen to these. I think they may have ads and it doesn't hold your place, but it's still a free book. Spotify now has books. But yeah, if you're not reading, you are at a disadvantage. So reading can give you an edge, right? So the more you know, the more you can do, right? So luck is whenever opportunity meets preparedness. So people that quote unquote get lucky, that is because they are able to spot opportunities that would lead to a lucky outcome. So if you have person A that doesn't know anything about a subject, and you have person B that reads regularly or listens to audiobooks while he drives or works out or whatever, person A, if he sees an excellent opportunity comes his way, let's say he's driving and he sees a piece of land for sale for, let's say it's for sale for 30 grand, and you know that you can flip that land for 100K, right? And it's a hot commodity. People want that land in that area of town, but that person doesn't really even know where to start, where to purchase that piece of land, what to do. They don't have the money or even they don't even know how to ask somebody, hey, there's this great deal. I don't have the money. You want to partner on it? You name it, right? But you have person B that has knowledge, they've read, they've learned, and they're able to capitalize on that opportunity. Well, fast forward a month or so, and now person B is $70,000 richer, and that just compounds that 70K into other opportunities, and that's one reason why I believe that there is a wealth gap. The wealth gap is really a knowledge and learning gap in America for the most part. Sure, there's some inheritance, but 80% of millionaires are first generation. So I would say a majority of millionaires in America are self-made. And like I just said, with CEOs, for example, they read a book a week. So self-made also equals self-taught, right? So read, go back, listen to this list, check out some of the books I recommended. Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, How to Win Friends and Influence People is probably going to be the most practical and beneficial. Re-listen to that one. You can have that one and you just pick back up at different times on that one. And then history. You got to read your history, your biographies, and don't forget to enlighten and empower. Share this episode with somebody that you think may find benefit from it. And I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome day.